Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Over to you.
Alright, thanks Hannah. Yeah, take a second just to quiet myself. I get a bit excitable when I'm sharing. I don't want to come across as excited or aggressive. So, yeah, welcome everyone. Any new people and all that, welcome. Yeah, it's a really important part of Cocaine Honours, being asked to share. We go, I quite enjoy it, even though it's a bit torturous today, build up and that to it. But I take it really seriously, because it's our primary purpose, isn't it? To carry a message to the addict who still suffers. It's not just sort of, I used to think it was about sitting here and making you guys laugh or telling you how cool I was, and it's not about that at all. So everything I try and do, I try and keep from my experience and what I've learnt about the book and what I've been taught. Yeah, so it's a real big sense of duty, and I try and take good care of what I say and what I do to try and deliver to you guys. So yeah, I've never been in jail, I've never been in a rehab, never done a detox, and I've never really been in trouble with the police or anything like that. I've never injected or anything like that. I don't say that to sort of distance myself from anyone. I sort of say that because I used to think that was a requirement of a drug addict, to sort of be that person, to be the down and outs, and I think that can turn people away. The people who really are, who need what we got, think that they're not that bad because some of the stuff they hear. So, I mean, that's what I say. I think we all come here because, I come here because when it was time to stop doing drugs, I would stop, think I had it done, and then I would start again, and I would repeat that cycle for years and years and years until it ruined me, and I never knew what was going on for me, and that's why I come to Cocaine Anonymous anyway. I don't sort of come around to hang around. I haven't got my own chair in a meeting or anything like that. I've come along now basically just to come and try and help a newcomer out. I'm not coming around for any other reason, really. That's just it. So growing up, I was really fortunate. I had a good childhood. I got a lot of really good memories. I hated school, but it was still fun because I was just piss-assed about the whole of it, basically. I had some really good friends, brother and sister. I spent most of my childhood playing football. I never really had any bad experiences as a child that would have made me turn into a drug addict, what I thought, if you know what I mean. Because you hear a lot of people say, like, why are you like that and stuff like that, and I never really had a reason why. I'll go into that a bit more later on, but so yeah, I sort of dabbled with drugs, loved drugs, loved getting off my head, and just I took what I could when I could, really, and it was carefree, fun. I've got a lot of good friends, great memories from taking drugs, and at some point I crossed this line, and things started stacking up and getting worse. The consequences would get worse. I'd be stealing a bit of money off my parents, out of my dad's wallet, and getting away with it, and sort of. But then the next time it'd be more, and then I'd take my mum's bank card, and my mum was thinking there was like fraud going on, and I'd have to come clean. But anyway, this went on for years and years and years, and then things, I suppose, got really out of control when I was, I don't know, mid-20s, and I was using so much coke, like you're talking thousands of pounds a month. I basically cleaned my mum and dad out, and I was in it. But every time I thought I hit that sort of rock bottom, my mum would take me to the doctors, and the doctor would sit down, and we'd like, what we're going to do, we're going to try this this time. We're going to keep you out of the pub, we're going to keep you away from them and all that sort of stuff. I'd be alright for, say, a month sometimes. When in my late 20s, early mid-20s, I could stay off it for a month, and then I thought, I'm alright, or sometimes I just didn't think I'd just be back at it again. And my mum used to be like, what are you doing to me? But I never quite managed to remember that at right times, and I thought the stuff that was going on then was bad enough for me to stop, but things just got a whole lot worse. Anyway, I ended up having a little girl. Well, I didn't, my partner did, and I thought I'd use her to stop. Beautiful little child, good reason to sort of grow up. But then again, things just got carried on getting worse, and then I started using crack probably about 31, 32 years old, and I can remember it taking hold of me quite well. I can remember being sat in a van some mornings, going to work, getting to work, going in the toilet, looking in the mirror, saying, "This has got to stop." Looking at myself, going, "Things are fucking bad, Dad. This is getting hold of you. Enough is enough." And then I'd be back at it again. I'd be back on the phone to my mum and back on the phone to sort of anyone I could get money off to pay off the dealers to buy more. And this went on till it was probably a daily thing. And we all know how it goes with crack. It's not pleasant. It's not nice. It took everyone down with me. So how it sort of come about, how I fell into CA was sort of, I borrowed some money off my brother. It was like the last resort to borrow money off. It's quite wild. He does quite well with his money. He's quite attached to his money. So to borrow money off my brother was a big thing. And I was saying, "I'll give you it back Monday." And this was on a Friday, and it never come back on a Monday, and I just ignored the phone. I had a knock at the door on that Monday night, and it was my mum, my brother and my sister. They obviously knew that something was up. They come round, sat me in the living room, sort of blagged it for a minute, trying to, because at this point I had no justification for my behaviour. I didn't know why I was doing it. I was as baffled. I was like, what can I say? I've got no reason to do this. Because my mum would be like, "Look, you've made me ill. Why are you doing this?" And I'd be like, "Because of this, because of that." But anyway, so that I'll just come out of it. I'll just say, "Look, I'm addicted to crack cocaine." Thinking, wow, I've told him now. That's that sorted. We're going to get some help in the morning. Went to the GP. The GP pointed me in the direction of a local drug agency, and they printed off I think it was Where to Find a Cocaine Anonymous from the internet, give me it, and I went off to the drug agency. They wasn't seeing anyone that day, so I ended up in the Highworth meeting on Tuesday night, my first meeting, and it was really cool, you know. I went along, I met Charlie outside, I met another lad called Dan. He still thinks he's alright as it goes, but and we had a chat outside, and it was the first time I wasn't sort of embarrassed of what I'd been up to, and other people are doing it as well, and they're talking about it. So still massively unaware of what was wrong with me, but I sort of stuck around, fell into a group of people that are in this book. I take this to every meeting I go. It's important. This book here, I've spent quite a bit of time and I've only highlighted the stuff that's to take someone else through this work now. It's not like the first book I got. I've still got it, just literally everything highlighted. But fell into a group of people and started looking at the whole step one thing, what I've been doing to keep myself from relapsing all them years that have been working so well. So I tried the job, got a really important job, a job that would keep most people sort of clean, but that never worked. I've tried the kids, I've tried the blocking phones, I've tried changing numbers, I've tried handing over my finances, I've tried everything really, and nothing sort of ever worked. But I'd keep trying it, I'd keep trying over and over again, expecting a different result, expecting that this time what I'll do, I'll use India again, my daughter, to keep me clean. Most beautiful little child ever. It never worked, and it always sort of people would question that, you see. So my mum's like, do you love your kids? I'm like, yeah, of course I do, because I've got a stepson as well. I had a stepson as well at the time. I still have, but yeah, of course I do. Last time you swore on your daughter's life that you'd never do it again. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So why have you done it again? Do you know what I mean? You get these questions from all different people, questioning your love for your children, your love for your family, your love for you're just all out sort of morals. If you've got any fucking morals, mate, look what you're doing. And it's kind of mad, isn't it? And you can't explain it, can't to them. You just So yeah, so we sort of fell in with a sponsor, put on the daily phone calls, and we got straight into the book, straight into chapter 3, more about alcoholism. We find out the bit of truth about what we suffer with, this illness of mind and body. Because I used to think, if only I could just go out and have a couple of fucking pints and a cheeky couple of limes, everything would be alright. I thought that's my problem with the amount it would take. But it's quite obvious that wasn't my problem. Because if that was my problem, I should just stop. And I tried to stop a bit, and I couldn't stay stopped. So I think the problem there is like my lack of willpower around having that first sort of drink or drug. Sort of like the lack of like sound reasoning or being able to remember my daughter at them vital moments. Because we sort of looked at like the chapter more about alcoholism, and I related to so much in there. You've got like Jim, the jaywalker, and like the jaywalker, I can break that story down in that chapter, and that's just me all over. I can relate to that, and I can compare myself to walking out into the road and getting smashed up by different vehicles, and then swearing and not wanting, really like the deep desire never to want to fucking do it again, but still going out and jaywalking again. What is that about? Does anyone in here know? Because I ain't got a fucking clue. I mean, like, but one thing I did learn in the whole step 1 process and going forward and keep looking at the step 1 was I've stopped looking for an answer to why I relapse. I've stopped trying to fight it. I'm done with looking for why I do it or when am I going to do it again, because I don't know. It's just going to happen to me. History tells me it's going to happen to me again, and it will. I suffer with a chronic relapse condition and like twisted thinking around the first drink. Like the relapses that I can recall them now, and it shows how powerless I was. Like thinking about loads. Like I'm staying in Oxford in a hotel because I'm working this way at the moment, and I can remember I'd been away all week for work, and this is before I signed off for work, and the crack was just creeping in, and I was travelling back to Swindon from up north, and I thought it would be a good idea if I told my missus that I wasn't going to make it back that night because I had to go and do another job, and I went and get a hotel in Oxford, paid for by my firm. I went and parked, so I didn't go home and see my kid after a week. What I'd done is got a hotel, parked my van up, walked into the centre of Oxford, found another crackhead, paid him a tenner to get me some stones, and sat in my hotel room and smoked stones on my own all night, after being away for a week. So like, if you look back and think, what's all that about, mate? Most normal people, being away a week from their family and that, they would be buzzing to get home, and I would have. Really, I wanted to go home and see my daughter. I absolutely adore her, but I didn't. I went and done that. There's something really wrong there. And another one I can recall, and there's a bit in Bill's story actually. I just opened a book on it earlier that I can really relate to one of my relapses. It says, I woke up, this had to be stopped. I saw that I could not so much as take one single drink or drug. I was free forever. Before then, I had written lots of sweet promises. It's funny because my mum's actually got letters that I've wrote to her. I wrote swearing and I'd never do it again. And I read them letters, and you can tell in the way I've wrote them that I meant that. And I really did. But my wife happily observed that this time I meant business, and so I did. Shortly afterward, I came home drunk. There had been no fight. Where had been my high resolve? I simply didn't know. It hadn't even come to mind. Someone had pushed a drink my way, and I had taken it. Was I crazy? Because what had happened, I'd been on like a roaring bender, just smoking crack after crack, whatever. You know how it goes. And I'd woke up, and my daughter's craving for my attention. On bits, my missus in bits. We're nearly losing the house. She's gone downstairs, and I'm like, I promise that's it. I'm in tears. I am never touching that again. I do not. I've had enough. I'm done. Like, I am at my wit's end with this stuff. This is probably like just not long after 2 years ago. Probably a bit more over 2 years ago. This was just before the sort of end. And so I went downstairs, and I was going to take my daughter over to the shop and buy her a magazine. and then go home, and we was going to get some munchies from the shop and sit and watch a film and all that. And I've gone over to the shop. The next thing, I'm sat up in my bathroom washing up. So at that vital moment of me leaving my house, absolutely broken, promising everyone with my daughter, I've walked over to the shop, which is 2 minutes away, bumped into a dealer, scored, more drugs on tick, not thinking of how am I going to pay that back, not thinking of my daughter's next to me, the evening I was meant to be spending with her, not thinking of my mum who's ill, who should be retired, and she's not retired now because of my drug using. None of that came to mind. So like, I've like grown up with my mates who have had issues through drugs and alcohol, and they've sort of sorted themselves out, and they don't use anymore because they can remember all that shit that happened to them. They can like bring it back, bang, no, you're right, mate. Nah. And I used to think, how the fuck do they do that? It's like it's magic, isn't it? Someone can do that. They can recall the consequences and just say no. But yeah, and I got them relapses to recall back on, and they proved to me that I'm powerless against this. So and I've got no skin in that game anymore. I've no skin in the game of relapse. It is what it is. I suffer with this. What's in this book? Let's get on and do what you got to do. Outlined in this book, on the book, in the book, as my sponsor directed me. So after a step one that wasn't, I mean, I can't remember a lot of it, but we spend a lot of time in my home group in Swindon studying like this whole step 1 thing, chapter 3, the whole powerlessness thing, and what's going on in your thinking before a relapse. So I used to think it was the moment you took the drug. It's like building up, innit? What's going on before when you twist? You know what I mean? And then you hear a lot of I used to hear a lot of things at meetings about fear put in around the rest of the step work. But the way I see it, it's quite simple. Like all you're trying to do is get through the work to help another man out, not sort of I need to do another step forward. None of that. Just get on, get it done, get through it, get you out. Danny, I don't want to see your hand up in a meeting sharing shit until you've done a step forward and you've got something to share to a newcomer. That sort of stuff. That's, you know what I mean? That's what it's all about. So I was fired for it quick, very quick, and then and obviously I enjoyed all the making amends stuff. There's fear around that bit. It was quite cool. You got to actually sit down with people and tell them like, it's not a get out clause, but look, I'm suffering with what's in this book. If you want, I can read a bit to you, and sort of it might explain my behaviour, sort of why I behave like that. And I can't promise you that I'm never going to do it again, because I'm not going to do that anymore, because chances are I'm going to. And my dad was like, fuck off. But my other people take to it. Some people don't want to, they don't need to. And yeah, and then you get onto like the sort of step 12 stuff, which is a funny old thing, isn't it, sponsorship. I can remember like first sponsoring people, sort of going around, picking them up, taking them here, taking them there, sort of. Well, it's not about that really, is it? But I like some of the wording in chapter 7, working with others. Starts on page 89. It says, practical experience shows that nothing else will so much ensure immunity from drinking as intensive work with other alcoholics. It's mad, isn't it? It's saying like, so practical experience shows that nothing will so much ensure immunity from drinking and using as working with other alcoholics. It's not like practical experience shows going to loads of meetings is going to keep you clean. It's saying like, get out there and help someone else out. Not like prayer and meditation. I'll tell you what, I didn't even do my like nightly inventory last night, and I think I didn't pray yesterday. I try not to, but I didn't relapse. That's the thing. So it's not all about that. I'm not using like these meetings and prayer and meditation anymore as a strategy to keep me clean. And it's a fucking brilliant place to be in. And you might think I'm saying that from being arrogant. I'm not. I'm just, that's my experience, and that's what's happened to me. I'm just like, I'm sort of like going with the flow, going with whatever really. I'm not trying to keep like, I'm not like just throwing myself into anything that keep me clean. I'm just doing whatever I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not running on self-will. I'm just going with it. I don't know how to explain it. Something's happened anyway. It's kind of mad, but I'm like just sort of chilled, and I like can have some really shit days sometimes. Like I I got a little baby now. She's 1. I've got a 6-year-old and an 18-year-old stepson, and quite a demanding job. So life can be quite demanding. I can get on top sometimes. I can have some really bad days, but I don't sort of relapse or think about relapsing or have to get to something. It just is what it is. Because I haven't used, it's quite a nice feeling. Just cracking on through life, not using, getting on with life. And that's what the joy of going through this work has brought me. Have I gone over my time? Cool. Yeah, I don't know if I've missed anything. I've got some notes I'm making in the back of the book. Yeah, so I'm no longer using strategies to keep myself from relapsing. Well, I don't think I am. I may be. You never know, do you, with this disease? I'm massively grateful to be here and to be able to carry a message to you. And if I've said something that you latch onto and want to speak about it, I'll be more than willing to stick around after the meeting and have a chat with you. And yeah, I think I'll leave it there. There's quite a few people in there, so thanks for listening.
I'll now open up the meeting for general sharing relating to what has been shared or on your own.